Hello, dear friends and enemies, and welcome back to Netia's Miscellaneous Melange. I am Netia, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Webtoon Pyramid Game by Dalgon Yak. Do you like gaslight, gatekeeping girl bosses? Do you like mean girls being mean and dramatic? Then you should definitely read Pyramid Game. But if you like none of those things, you should still probably read Pyramid Game, and I'm going to tell you why. So, first off, I've always been a fan of this kind of high school inter-girl drama kind of story. I read the self-help book Mean Girls 2006 was based on for fun. I read the Click series by Lacey Harrison, Gossip Girl, all of that stuff. I just loved it because it was so different from the kind of world that I personally lived in, especially all these like elite private rich girl schools, and those kinds of interpersonal dynamics had absolutely nothing in common with the kind of interpersonal dynamics I lived with. So I was reading Pyramid Game pretty much from episode 1, but a lot of my friends started reading it much later because I kept talking about it and made them read it. And so now, hopefully, if I talk about it some more, I will get you to read it as well. So the basic premise is that this girl, Suji Seong, who's had to transfer high schools a lot because of her mom's job, transfers to Love High School at the beginning of her second year to class 2-5, known as the Happy Class. And so Suji plans to do what she always does when she comes to a new school, make a few friends, blend in, and hopefully transfer out in a few months without too much trouble. Except, what she doesn't know is that this happy class has a little game called the Pyramid Game. And the way the Pyramid Game works is that once a month, every student uses an app to vote for 5 people that they think should deserve votes. And the person who gets the most votes becomes an A rank. And then the person who gets the least votes becomes an F. And everybody else is in B, C, and D rank in between. And so the first voting day happens to be just a few days after Suji joins the class. And so she is ranked F because nobody knows who she is yet. And she's in rank F with this girl named Jan, who nobody talks to, and who seems kind of like a delinquent and is clearly something going on with her. But Suji, immediately, being the new girl, realizes this pyramid game is very stupid and I want to get rid of it. Except, she can't, because the pyramid game is organized by the daughter of the biggest corporate conglomerate in the country, and therefore the biggest donor to this high school, and she is financially untouchable. And for some reason, this girl, Hiren Baek, wants to ruin Jaehyun's life. We still don't know why this happened, why this is the case. Eventually, I'm sure the readers will find out. So, the thing that makes Pyramid Game so compelling and makes you really want to keep reading is the characters are incredibly complex and diverse, as you might have been able to tell from this brief summation of this premise. Suji, even though she is new girl, she's not she's not a complete innocent in the situation. She is extremely intelligent and perceptive, and because she's had to transfer so many times, she's very good at reading people and their motivations and figuring out how to use them to her advantage. At the beginning, she makes a plan to increase the number of people ranked C, and she uses this by figuring out how to blackmail her classmates, essentially. Of course, it doesn't work because Hiren is just as smart as Suji is, and unfortunately has some more clout to back her up than Suji does. Hiren is extremely rich and beautiful, and everybody likes her, or so it seems. A lot of the people in the class have been told to befriend Hiren by their parents, and Hiren is completely aware of this because she was allowed to compile the class roster herself to create the best possible high school experience for the daughter of the biggest donor to this high school. Jaehyun, meanwhile, at first she seems like a delinquent because she's tall and quiet and kind of rough and beat up. but eventually realized she might be the only genuinely kind person in the school. She helps people when there's nothing for her to gain from it. She refuses to participate in things that she believes will hurt others. But she also has this weird martyr complex and believes that she's supposed to be rank F because Haran wants her to be. And it's clear that Jaehyun and Haran, something happened between them in the past that Jaehyun took full responsibility for and fully believes that she is the party at fault for. But the viewer still doesn't know what that is. And it'll eventually be revealed, probably. But Haran is insistent that she is going to ruin Jaehyun's life because Jaehyun hurt her in some way that cannot possibly be forgiven. That's very interesting. Now, Haran compiled this happy class full of people who are children of companies that her family's company works with, but also girls who are somehow special and unique in their own right. For example, Yerim Lim, who is an idol hopeful due to debut soon. Yerim is also genuinely very popular and charming and friendly, and everybody likes her, everybody wants to be friends with her, and everyone wants to be her. Yerim does not want to participate in the pyramid game, but is forced into it because Haram essentially used her influence to hurt the future possibilities of Yerim and her friends. One of which is her best friend, Yoon Jong Sim, nationally ranked swimmer, and former delinquent who used to get into fights with people. And she still kind of gets into fights with people, but she doesn't get in trouble for it anymore because of how the happy class is set up. Yoonjung is not the primary bully character in the story. Most of the muscle behind Haran's top elite group is Dayoung, who is the daughter of the CLC conglomerate, the youngest daughter, and Dayoung is neglected and abused at home, and that comes out in how she behaves in her class. But she's also not very intelligent and very violent, and nobody likes her very much. And one of the ways that Dayoung lashes out is she accuses Youngjong and Yerim of being more than just friends. Which I thought was interesting, because you don't often see people being openly homophobic in a webtoon, even if they are the quote-unquote bad guys. They acknowledge lesbians as things that exist in this world. Interesting. I wonder where they'll go with this. The relationship between Yerim and Yoonjong is there's a lot going on there. They met in middle school, and they thought that they were very different people before realizing they actually had a lot in common. And Yerim and Yoonjong are very close, and Yoonjong especially believes it's her duty to protect Yerim. As an idol, she cannot have school bullying on her record, so if the situation in the pyramid game ever gets out and it's discovered that Yerim was a bystander in the situation, this may affect her future career. Yerim, on the other hand, does not want Yoonjong to protect her because it's her responsibility. Her own life is her responsibility, and she doesn't like it when other people try to take care of her without her consent. It's really good, it's really dramatic, and really interesting. It's really easy to tell the characters apart because the way that everybody's drawn is very distinctive. Even if characters have similar or the same color hair, for example, the way everyone has a very distinct and unique eye shape, face shape, and nose shape. So it's easy to tell even from far away who we are looking at. There's 3 different characters with long ponytails, but it's easy to tell if you're looking at Dayoung or Jaeyoung because Dayoung's hair is green and Jaeyoung's hair is brown, and she wears glasses. Haejun and Haran both have pink hair, but Haejun has stars in her eyes, and Haran looks like she's dead. The art style is also it's stylized in a way that I feel like I don't usually see webtoons. It's more of I don't know how to describe it. It's less realistically rendered and more cartoony, but also not super cartoony. In moments where the lighting and shadow effects are rendered in more detail than they usually are, those moments really, really sing. There's a scene that takes place after the sunset in a streetlight with Jaehyun and Haran, and they look absolutely ethereal. I'm not going to post it here because spoilers, but it's very, very good. Although I feel like I did kind of spoil a lot of things already. I mean, I feel like that depends on what someone's definition of spoilers might be, but there they are. Pyramid Game is a well-drawn, well-told, and very interesting story about very different people with very different agendas working together and against each other to either preserve the status quo or destroy it. It is a vicious combination of school bullying and class privilege that exists in contemporary society. And most recently, there's been major developments in this comic where the situation is finally discovered by outsiders, and actions are actually having consequences within the outside world they didn't have before. That's very exciting. And so, in conclusion, you should read Pyramid Game, unless you are triggered by school bullying, because there are some pretty intense scenes with physical and emotional violence of many different kinds. And yeah, read Pyramid Game.